Hello everyone, Amy with Campbell Creations, and today we are making a double strand necklace and a pair of earrings. We're going to be using contents from Bargain Bead Box, BBBoxBargains.com, and Amazon. What we're going to be doing is on the first strand, we're going to be wire wrapping. And we're going to be making these beautiful little links. Aren't those cool? They're not difficult to make, and I'm going to show you how to make them. Now, before we dig into this, I have friend mail. Heather Aston, who is our moderator on our Facebook group, which is Campbell's Creators, she sent me gift of efficiency. These are Xuron micro shear flush cutters. These are double-sided flush cutters. Whenever you cut the wire, it flush cuts both sides. Oh my goodness. Now, I've already cut my wire, but you guys, I will link to Amazon for these. Heather, thank you. Thank you so much. So, what we're going to be using to wire wrap is I have bronze, not antique bronze, bronze 20 gauge wire, and we're going to be pulling in with this copper and some black. So we're going to be mixing it up a little bit. It's going to be fun, it's going to be cool, and I think it's going to be beautiful. So let's get into it. For our smaller links here, I cut my wire at 3.5 inches. For our longer links here, I cut my wire at 7 inches. Now, with this 7-inch wire, you could go 6 inches. 6 inches would work. I like to have a little extra wire because we're going to be doing quite a bit of wrapping on each of these, and it just helps me. So I cut them at 7. Let's get into it. So we're going to make the bigger links first. Okay, so on these bigger links, what I'm wanting to do for my first wrap is I want to make sure that I'm good on my sizing. And I need 2.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is on each of these, I'm going to go to 2.5 inches, and I'm just going to go ahead and bend it down. Okay, you can measure your 2.5 and bend with your pliers, but I'm already here, right? So I'm going to bend that down. I'm going to make a wrapped loop. That's how we're going to start this. So let's come in here with our round nose pliers. I'm going to go up and around, tuck it back, and then do that little kick back. I didn't have my pliers ready. I'm going to use my chain nose pliers here, and I'm going to do 3 wraps. Well, I need to do 3 wraps better than that. I guess I shouldn't have put lotion on my hands. So after these 3 wraps, you see that I have all this room left over. We're going to use that room, okay? So I'm going to be picking up an 11-0 black seed bead, maybe. So I want an 11-0 black seed bead. I have a 6mm rhodonite and another 11-0 black seed bead. Now, once this loop came around, okay, once this wire came around, it's coming from this direction ready to wrap over anyhow. So we're going to utilize that, and we're just going to wrap it around this bead. So let's move this out of the way to make sure you can see. And the way I do it is I hold with my finger here just to make sure that this bead stays up, right? So I'm going to hold, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm just going to wrap it around. That's all I'm doing. So I'm pushing this up so that I don't create too much space up here up top, and I'm just pulling it around. Once I pull this around, I'm just going to do 3 wrapped loops. And these wrapped loops here do not have to be close together. If they are, it's fine, but they do not have to be close together because we're going to be wrapping from the other side. So I have 3 on this side and 2.5 on this side. So let's go 1 more loop here. So I have 3 on this side and I have 3 on this side. At this point, I'm going to cut this tail off. Now I'll tell you, I'm used to every time I wash my hands, I like to put lotion on. I really like lotion for my hands, especially with the weather changing and whenever fall's here and then winter, it's crucial. When I'm making wrapped loops like this, I can't have lotion on my hands. So I have washed my hands and put lotion on, realized I put lotion on, washed my hands again, but I'm still a little slippery. Wiping off. So don't have lotioned hands when you're doing this. So what we're going to be doing on the other side is we're going to do the same thing, right? So we're going to pick up a seed bead. These seed beads being kind of funny for me. So 11-0 seed bead, one of our rhodonite, and an 11-0 seed bead. And we're going to make a wrapped loop. I'm going to go in the same direction. You don't necessarily have to. We're going to be connecting it with jump rings, but I'm going to. So let's kick that back, up and over, rotate, come around, and I do a little kick back there. We're going to wrap 3 times. And as I come around on my 3rd, I'm going to wrap around this bead and under that seed bead to the first space. That first space there. And I'm going to wrap 3 times. Here's my 2nd. Here's my 3rd. We're going to remove our tail here. And you see, this is why I say you can go 6 inches. I want to make sure I have enough room. I don't want to have to waste 6 inches of wire just because I cut it too short. I would rather have a little extra. So we want to tuck in our tail. Which side? There you are. Let's tuck him in. And we have our link. Now sometimes when you make these, this crossover will be on the same side. And that would be okay, but I love it when it's not. So let's make a couple more of those, shall we? All right. So I'm going to come down 2.5 inches. Give my 90-degree bend. We're going to do a 3 wrap loop. So up and over, round, and 3. We're going to put on an 11-0 seed bead. I know these fit, you guys, but I didn't want to go bigger. Okay, 11-0, rhodonite, 11-0. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to start the process with this thumb, and just come around. And I want to come around underneath that seed bead. Now I'm just going to wrap him. He's a little uneven, but we'll make up for it. 3, 3. Trim him off. Now we're going to come right back in. 11-0 seed bead. Rhodonite. Seed bead. And we'll go into our wrap loop. I just love the look of this. Love the look of this. 2, 3. I'm going to come around that bead and tuck right in underneath that seed bead, right there where that first divot is. Two. See how I can go right in the middle of those grooves? I just love this. And we'll make one more. Oh, you good guy, you tucked right in there. So we'll make one more. Come down 2.5 inches, 90 degrees. I'm telling you, I could not believe whenever I had gotten an Amazon package, and I had just been thinking earlier in the day, because I've been ordering more than usual because I'm going through more than usual. So I had just been thinking earlier in the day, you know, I'm not getting anything today, so there's not going to be any Amazon mail for me. And then I get a package. So when I opened up that package and pulled those out, I had myself a moment, because our friend Heather, my dear friend Heather, had already sent me a picture of these and said, you need these. These are efficient. These would help. They've helped me so much. Heather's so good about that. She is amazing. I am blessed. I've been very blessed to have her. But as soon as I saw them, I knew who they were from. And I had myself a moment. She is just the sweetest. So I'm going to hold this up, right? And I'm going to wrap this around. Come tuck right underneath that bead. Tuck right under him. Three wraps. Let's make sure 3, 3. And I think this is my favorite way right here, since we're going to come right through those grooves. But you know, if you want this to be a chunky center, which is an awesome statement, keep those close together and wrap directly over them. But the cool thing about these is even if some of them are a little chunkier than others, they all just look so cool together. It's a very kind of organic, authentic wrap. And we'll make that wrap loop. Three wraps. On that third, I'm going to wrap around our bead and come into that first groove that I can get to. And then we'll just wrap. They are so cool. Have I said that yet? I have some fun stuff in store. I will be recording a few tutorials today just because I'm excited. I can't wait. I want to get them made, get them recorded. And on this one, I'm just making sure one was off a little bit, a little wonky. So, and you see this one, they're both on the same side on this one. It's okay. It's okay. So that is our wrap loops. Now we have, well, our coiled wrap loops. We have one more of these to make. And what I'm doing for this other one is I'm just doing a wrap loop on each side. And I have these little shell hishi beads. And these ones are the ones with like the mother of pearl inlay, looks like, you know, that's shiny and beautiful. And I thought that this pulled in all of our colors. It has, you know, that rustic kind of coppery bronze color in them, the black, and then there's that shine that comes through and just happiness. So we're just going to make a wrap loop here. So I'm going to come down 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. And we'll do 3 wraps. And when I'm cutting, I always go in from where I came from. It just works out best for me to get the best flush cut. And he's turning. Let's try the other angle. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 of these guys. And we'll do our little check glass bead. Can you see the end of that? That really is so pretty. Three on the other side, and then we'll just wrap loop the other side too. Okay. I'm so excited to put this together. I got a feeling it's going to be one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, I know. Okay. All right, so let's move our extras out of the way here. So let's come here. We won't need those, and we won't need those. We'll move. We're going to have this copper lobster claw clasp. Isn't it awesome? We'll have those. So let's first see what we're looking at here. Here's what I'm wanting to do. I have these rings, and these are the copper ones. I got these from Amazon, and I got them in all different metal tones. So the container didn't come with it. A different container came with these, okay? But look at all of these. And it was a pretty darn good price. I will link it below. But these are good. These are good quality. They're not bendy at all. These are great. So got those from Amazon. So I'm going to use one at the bottom. What I've done is I have taken a little bit of the chain that we have here that I got on beadboxbargains.com, and this chain is just a gnarled copper chain. I did a little wrapped loop, and I have a couple of those little heishi beads that we used here. And then I have a little 6mm rondelle, and this actually came in the GGC bag that I received here this month, August 2024. And then on our other little dangle, we have 2 of the black teardrops with one of those little heishis in the middle. And so what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to dangle these. So these will dangle from here. And then I'm wanting to bring these, followed by these, etc., all the way up. And they're going to be linking into another 2 of those rings. So in between, I am going to jump ring these. Of course, the wrapped loops, I have to jump ring them, but I want to also. I'm using black jump rings. And I think it's going to really pull in all of these tones together. I hope I'm right about it, but I really think it's going to. And then for these 3 little dangles that we have here, I have these little copper, little bitty, like 3-4mm jump rings. And actually, I don't think those jump rings are going to fit on here. So let's just use the black. I got those out when I saw those, but let's use the black. That way it stays tied in. I'm going to jump ring all 3 of these to black and then to the center. So let's get started on our first line here, and then we'll talk about our second strand. So let's pull in our pliers, and let's get our little focal dangles taken care of. So I want one of the smaller ones. The long one. And the smaller one. And I thought about doing more than this, and who knows, when we finish this up, we may want to do some more of those dangles. But I also I just like the thought of that. Yeah, so that'll look cool. All right, let's connect this to our ring. I just closed it up. You guys have to tell me to stop chatting. That way I don't miss a step, right? So there's that. So then now, I do want to start with these, so let's bring these down and we'll get them connected. So this weekend was my husband and I's 4-year wedding anniversary. Super exciting. And when he proposed to me, he had a lock, like a padlock, that he engraved that said our engagement date on one side and our names on the other side. And I believe there's a heart on it too. And what we did is we went to a bridge in Kansas City, and it's a beautiful bridge, and people hang their love lockets on it. And so we hung it there, and now every year on our anniversary, we go back and we find it. And so we went out to dinner at our favorite restaurant, and then we went and found our lock. And so I thought it was really cool, and it was a really cool idea when he did that. And so every year, and some years we go on the date of our engagement as well, on the anniversary of our engagement. Not every year have we done that, but so cool. Great weekend, great long weekend. What do you think about that, guys? Okay, so now we'll come to the side. I just wanted to see it. That black with the copper. And I'll tell you, I didn't want to use antique bronze. This bronze wire, it's really bright, and it flows so nicely with antique copper. And the copper wire that I have is also bright, and it just doesn't go well with antique copper. I mean, it can, it's not bad. I really like bronze with antique copper though. And this black, I think, is gonna just take your eyes all the way up through the piece. Certainly my hope. Most certainly my hope. And so our second strand is going to be a stringing. And it should pull in some of the lighter colors, and as well as the darker colors, but as soon as these rings came in, I was like, yep, I need a double strand. I've had these rings before, and when I had them last time, they were just in with a Facebook Marketplace bead haul, and I had, you know, like 4 or 5 just of the copper, and then I found them on Amazon and threw in all of the metal tones, and that happened real quick. If you guys haven't tried to make a wrapped link like this before, I really hope you do. I hope my instruction helps. But it's such a cool way to accentuate that bead and to really turn that link into something different, right? I took myself a long weekend this weekend. Already off on Monday, and then I took Tuesday and Wednesday off. Because before we know it, it's going to be winter. And in winter, the office work is very, very busy. So really, there's no time off to be had from December to the end of April. That's all part of it, though. Looky there, I had an extra. Okay. let's take a peek at where we're at here. Oh gosh, this is just going to be beautiful. Look at that. Let's take a peek at this and then we'll talk about our second strand. So we have our dingle here, and we may make up some more of that. Let's see. Isn't this just so cool? Love it, love it. So let's go ahead and lay this out. Let's move these out of the way. Won't need that right now. We won't need our closure right now. Okay, so up here, we're going to be connecting to these links. And then for our next strand, I have some other rhodonite that I got from BBBox and it's more of the mixed with black rhodonite, and these are a little bit smaller, right? So I think these are like 5mm. They're not 4, they don't look like they're that small, but we're gonna pull these in, and we have some more of those. We have those black teardrops, and then we have these little 6mm rondelles that I got from GGC Treasure Bag. So I'm wanting to just alternate them, and I don't want it to be too long, right? So I want it to come down about here, maybe. And it's possible if I want it to go a little bit further down, I don't want too many more of these. If I want it to go further down, I'm gonna put some chain. So I may connect it to some chain to go here, but I don't want that to be this focal part to be the entire length if it's down low. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So let's pull in our soft flex in medium. And I have about a 12-inch piece cut. And what I'm wanting this to do is I'm wanting to do one of the teardrops, one of our cream colored beads, champagne color, and a teardrop. I'm a big fan of those teardrops facing in towards a center bead. I don't want any metal in this strand because there's so much metal going on elsewhere. So that's all this strand's going to be, but I do think I like what's going to be happening with it. So, you know, with these facets that's on these, I think it's really going to pull in some of the brightness that's in some of these links, and it's going to pull in some of the brightness of our metal. So I think it's going to accentuate that metal. At least that's what I'm looking for. And then we'll have both of those tie into our ring up there. I thought for this one a third strand might be too much. So this, I think, just meshes really well together. See there? I like how that matte in the bead pulls with the shiny. Yeah, I think that'll look really pretty. So I'm going to finish this up. I'll meet you guys back here. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. Our necklace with the ring is about 24 inches long. It's a 24-inch necklace. So I'm going to add some chain here but not too much. This, I love to eyeball it, and this is about where I want it to hang. So I'm wanting this to come below my collarbone, so it's definitely below my collarbone, but I want some spacing here, just in case I decide to layer it with something else, or just so that this can be above my shirt line and this can hang below my shirt line. So that's what I'm thinking. So let's cinch this up, let's measure this strand, and let's see how much chain we want. So I should probably bead bug this. So let's do that. And let's come in here. Let's get us crimp tube. I don't know why I close these all the way every time. I tell myself not to, but I tell myself not to as I'm opening. And then I just close it. Don't close it all the way, Amy. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with my clamshell connector, and this is lightweight. So, and this is a thick strand. So with my clamshell connector, I'm going to put him on there, get my crimp tube, get him nice and closed up at the tip. Close up my clamshell. And we'll go to the other side. So clamshell, crimp tube. Got him coiled up good so that he has movement. Come in here, put good squeeze, then we can finish him off. All the way down there in the bottom. Trim him off and close him up. Okay, so let's see here. How long of a strand do we have? 6 to the center of this guy, so 10. All right, so we have 10 inches here. And I want him to go about here. So let me eyeball my chain, and then we'll measure it, but I want to eyeball it because I know how I want this to hang. I know where I want it to be, and that's what's important to me. I'm very visual that way. This will be down here. Okay, and then do I have, of course I have a piece of wire. I'm going to make one that's the same size for the other side. Go down there, buddy. So I'm going to put this in the one I want to cut. Bring him up. And we'll cut him off. Okay, we'll save that chain for our finish. And we're going to be using our black jump rings to connect them. Stay there, bud. Stay in your little corner. Okay. So grab one. I'm so happy I thought of these black jump rings. I really am, because I think they really draw the eye through the piece. Now, the question is, so let me pull this down just so we can get them connected here. So the question is, do I want to jump ring these guys together and then have a jump ring here? That way it keeps them together. Or do I want to jump ring each of them separate on here for additional movement? I think I want them separate. And let's do one side like that, and if not, we can swap it up. We can switch it up. I think that'll give them good movement. Of course, you have the other strand that's going to be coming up from the top, so these aren't going to get swapped. And I like that these aren't together, right? They're staggered. I like that. I do like that. Okay. So let's knock out the other side and see what we're looking like, my friends. Looky there. Oh, I do like that. I do like that. I think that chain really sets it off. That is beautiful. Just beautiful. Yep. Okay. So let's finish her up. Sorry, I'm still staring at it. I like it. I like it. All right, so we are going to need a couple more jump rings, and it is time to pull in our closure. If I can get my fingers on it here. So that's going to be our closure. I need a couple more black jump rings. Actually, I think I was right. Never know. All right, so, oh, question. How long do we want this? Hold on. Actually, I'm not going to add any chain. I originally was thinking that this would be viewable, but no. Nope, it's not going to be. Here, one sec. No, where I'm wanting this to lay, I think what I'm going to do is connect the lobster claw clasp to this and just have it connect to the other ring. That's what I'm going to do. I think that'll be nice anyways. That'll be cool. Because I don't want it to get too long, and it feels really good that way. Actually, with these on the back of the neck, it lays really nicely. It feels really nice. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I originally was going to think of these as decoration. You know, it's part of the piece, but hey, if you have your hair up, you have a really nice back of your necklace, and you're going to love the way that feels. You're going to love the way that feels. I can't do it any other way now. That has me rethinking other pieces. I am going to put a ring on here just because I don't want these to move. I want that ring to be here to help keep these other strands in check. So altogether with our clasp, we have about a 25-inch necklace. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So this lobster claw clasp needs to be going in the other direction. Otherwise, you're going to want to switch it around to clasp it. And that's what our problem was. But I noticed something, and I wonder, had you already noticed? Hold on, I'll show you, because we're about to fix it. Surely you noticed. You guys are awesome, and you're on it. Looky. How much you want to bet? I was talking in the middle of doing that. Easily fixable. Okay. So let's do this again. Oh my gosh, I love this necklace. Would lay about like this. Beautiful. Love it. Love it, love it. How about we make a pair of earrings? So for our earrings, what I'm wanting to do is, I don't know if you saw the tutorial with the bracelets, but I'm going to be doing the same kind of coil on this earring, and then we're just going to be connecting it with a little gnarled twisted jump ring and our lever back earring. So let's do that. So I have about a 3.5-inch piece here. It may be 4 inches. Let's check. Yeah, it's 4. I thought 3.5, but then as soon as I got to looking at it, it looks more like 4. So what I'm wanting to do is, let's first make a loop at one end. Okay. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to roll that up. I'm going to put my beads on here. So I have one of the rhodonite that came in the August box, one of the little 5mm rhodonite that I had in my stash from BBBoxBargains.com, and another rhodonite here. And what I'm wanting is about an inch for this coil. So yeah, this was too long. All you need is about a 3-inch piece, okay, 3.5. So here, we need about an inch. And I want to coil in the opposite direction. So I'm going to make this coil opposite direction. So I'm just going to roll him up. Oh, let's make sure he's closed. There he is. And then I'm just going to roll it up. All the resistance is on my thumb and I'm moving my wrist. I'm not moving on the actual metal with this. Okay, so we're done with that. And we're just going to connect this guy. Simple as that. Now, what would be cool too is if you did one of these twists, made one of these to hang on here and did a spiral at the bottom. That would be cool. And our earrings. So cool, right? Here is our set. Get this down. Come on, little guy. I think I do like it with just some down here at the bottom because there's so much statement going on. There's so much. I love this. I hope you guys like this. If you do like this, give me a big thumbs up, please. Share this. Sharing really helps me, and leave a comment. I love your comments. I'm so thankful and so happy that I have such a great community here. You are very supportive and encouraging and inspiring. Very inspiring. I hope you guys have a great day, and until we meet back on this mat, bye-bye.